We're on Numbers chapter 18. And verse 1 says, So Yahweh said to Aaron, You and your sons and your father's household with you shall bear the guilt in connection with the sanctuary, and you and your sons with you shall bear the guilt in connection with your priesthood. Okay, the authority of the Levites in the priesthood has been established now. No more uproars, no more rebellions. They have benefits. They also have great responsibilities. And they were to enable interaction between a perfect and holy Elohim and a people who fall. No, it's on. It just turned down. Okay. They were to enable interaction between a perfect and holy Elohim and a people that fall short of perfection. The priests and the Levites were to bear guilt in connection with the sanctuary and with the priesthood. They have a lot of responsibility. If any defilement came to them or the sanctuary, guess who's guilty? They are. In Exodus 28, verse 38, And it shall be on Aaron's forehead, and Aaron shall take away the iniquity of the holy things which the sons of Israel consecrate with regard to all their holy gifts, and it shall always be on his forehead that they may be accepted before Yahweh. Now, this would also demonstrate to the people that the benefits of the Levites are not without cause and reason. There's cost involved here for them. They have a lot involved.
You see those candles like that in the Catholic Church?
Yeah, they're not quite like that.
Oh, they're not?
No, that's a menorah. That's a seven. It's like the lampstand in the. It was in the temple and the tabernacle. Now they may imitate it. I don't know, but if they do, it's for no reason. Yeah.
Earlier, the last verse, it said Aaron and his father. Wasn't his father Moses?
You and your no. Aaron was Moses' brother.
Oh, Moses' brother.
Yeah. Yeah.
This is kind of off on there.
That's all right.
But why are there, and I know that's usually my thought, but why are there 7 candle menorahs and 9 candle menorahs?
Okay, that's a good question. The 7 candle menorah, it represents the feast days of Yahweh.
Oh.
Okay. So we have the Sabbath day, and then we have the spring feast, and then the fall feast. Okay. The 9 stem menorah comes from adding Purim and also Hanukkah.
Oh.
That's what the Jews have done that.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Thank you. I did not know that.
Yeah. So we don't have one here, but if we had one here, it'd be a 7. Nothing wrong with celebrating Purim or Hanukkah. It's a celebration of military victories. But yeah, Purim is.
I didn't know it was.
Yeah, that came from the book of Esther. Purim does. And they defeated Haman, who wanted to have all the Jews destroyed in the kingdom. And that in the Persian kingdom. So yeah, Esther was the queen.
Yeah.
Right? Okay. I wonder if that's a little bit of hail. Could be. Yeah, the way it's going off and on. Going back to Numbers 18, verses 2 and 3. But bring with you also your brothers, the tribe of Levi, the tribe of your father, that they may be joined with you and serve you while you and your sons with you are before the tent of the testimony. And they shall thus attend to your obligation and the obligation of all the tent, but they shall not come near to the furnishings of the sanctuary and the altar, lest both they and you die. Only the priests could handle the articles of the sanctuary without incurring the wrath of Elohim. The Levites served at the tabernacle, but they couldn't handle these articles. If they did, both the Levite and the priest will be guilty and die. The priests were to be the principals involved with the temple, while the Levites were to be their associates. Verse 4, And they shall be joined with you and attend to the obligations of the tent of meeting for all the service of the tent, but an outsider may not come near you. The priests were the primary keepers of the tabernacle and of the worship. The Levites were their assistants, but they could not handle the implements of the tabernacle. But no other Israelite is allowed to come near the articles of the sanctuary, or they would die. You know, we have a record of this in the day of King David. David and his army rescued the Ark of the Testimony from the Philistines. They had stolen it, the Philistines had. And they found having that Ark of the Covenant to be rather toxic to their environment. So they more or less said, would you come get this thing? Yeah. So David and his army rescued this Ark of the Testimony, and Uzziah tried to steady the ark. They had it on a cart, and it was about to fall off, and he tried to keep it from falling off, and he died. That's in 2 Samuel 6. Verses 6 and 7, but when they came to the threshing floor of Nacon, Uzzah reached out toward the ark of Elohim and took hold of it, for the oxen nearly upset it. And the anger of Yahweh burned against Uzzah, and Elohim struck him down there for his irreverence, and he died there by the ark of Elohim. That doesn't sound fair, does it? Well, it's the law. Yeah, it's not to be touched. Well, you know what? It wasn't supposed to be transported that way anyway. It's supposed to be transported by hand on the shoulders of Levites. Okay, that's how it's supposed to be moved. Numbers 18, verse 5. So you shall attend to the obligations of the sanctuary and the obligations of the altar, that there may no longer be wrath on the sons of Israel. So the priests and the Levites are the mediator between the people and the tabernacle. The shepherding responsibilities are to be taken very seriously. They could be a matter of life and death. Verses 6 and 7. And behold, I myself have taken your fellow Levites from among the sons of Israel. They are a gift to you, dedicated to Yahweh, to perform the service for the tent of meeting. But you and your sons with you shall attend to your priesthood for everything concerning the altar and inside the veil, and you are to perform service. I am giving you the priesthood as a bestowed service, but the outsider who comes near shall be put to death. The opportunity to serve Elohim is a gift, but it is especially reserved for priests alone, this particular service. The outsider who comes near the tabernacle is to be put to death, or he will be put to death. And the thing is, Elohim can't be approached by sinful man. Only the priest can approach Elohim, and only the high priest alone can atone for the sins of the people, and that's on the Day of Atonement. In Leviticus 16, verses 29 through 31, we read, and this shall be a permanent statute for you. In the 7th month, on the 10th day of the month, you shall humble your souls and not do any work, whether the native or the alien who sojourns among you. For it is on this day that atonement shall be made for you to cleanse you, and you shall be clean from all your sins before Yahweh. It is to be a Sabbath of solemn rest for you, that you may humble your souls. It is a permanent statute. Numbers 18, verses 8 and 9. Then Yahweh spoke to Aaron, now behold, I myself have given you charge of my offerings, even all the holy gifts of the sons of Israel. I've given them to you as a portion, and to your sons as a perpetual allotment. This shall be yours from the most holy gifts, reserved from the fire. Every offering of theirs, even every grain offering, and every sin offering, and every guilt offering, which they shall render to me, shall be most holy for you and for your sons. The high priest is in charge of all the offerings and of the holy gifts of the children of Israel. These things are described as the most set apart, or the most holy. Now the offerings, the sacrifices of the people, are something that are mostly ignored by church teachings today. These offerings are a picture of the ultimate sacrifice made by Yeshua Messiah, and that's why they're considered most holy for the people forever. Verses 10 and 11. As the most holy gifts you shall eat it, and every male shall eat it. It shall be holy to you. This also is yours, the offering of their gift, even the wave offerings of the sons of Israel. I've given them to you and to your sons and daughters with you as a perpetual allotment. Every one of your household who is clean may eat it. The offerings that are not consumed by fire will be reserved for the priests and for their families. Everyone who's clean, those who have not touched dead things, not touched women in their time of impurity in a sexual way, engaging in marital relations on that day makes you unclean for that day. So you got to time those things, I guess. You have to be clean in order to eat of it. Verse 12. All the best of the fresh oil and all the best of the fresh wine and of the grain, the first fruits of those which they give to Yahweh, I give them to you. The first ripe fruits of all that is in their land, which they bring to Yahweh, shall be yours. Every one of your household who is clean may eat it. Every devoted thing in Israel shall be yours. Now the priests got the best of the best things that were offered to the people. The Levites and the priests do not receive land in the promised land like the rest of the people do. So what they're going to receive is the tithe. And that's also used to take care of the fatherless, the widowed, and the stranger. Verse 15. Every first issue of the womb of all flesh, whether man or animal, which they offer to Yahweh, shall be yours. Nevertheless, the firstborn of man you shall surely redeem, and the firstborn of unclean animals you shall redeem. Now, everything and everybody which is the firstborn is dedicated to Elohim and will be the property of the priests. Okay, what does it mean to redeem something? Pay for it, buy back. You buy it back. You redeem it. That's what that refers to. They're to redeem or buy back the firstborn child and the firstborn of all unclean animals. Verse 16, and as to their redemption price, from a month old you shall redeem them by your valuation, 5 shekels in silver, according to the shekel of the sanctuary, which is 20 gerahs. The firstborn of the people were to be redeemed or bought from the priests for 5 shekels of silver. Yeah.
You know when you said buy it back?
Yeah.
How do you do it? Like sacrifice?
No, you buy it back with shekels of silver. You pay them. So that you have a newborn baby boy, you pay the priest. Yeah, that goes to the priest. And while we're not 100% sure, a shekel was about 4/10 of an ounce. Yeah.
Do they give these babies right after birth, or they raise them first?
Well, what you do is just go pay for him. You have a baby boy, you go pay for him. Just firstborn. Yes. Yes, thank you.
I thought you give the firstborn to.
Yeah, you just pay for it. It's okay. Technically, it's his property until you pay for it. The firstborn. Now, keep in mind the reason for this. Remember the reason for this? The first ones were the ones that were saved when they left Egypt. Okay, the firstborn sons were the ones that were saved.
Levites were the firstborn.
Levites a tribe.
Levites took their place.
Yeah, the Levites took the place of the firstborn. Thank you. That's where he's thinking.
Oh, there you go. That's
Yeah.
where I got confused.
Yeah, okay. Verses 17 and 18. But the firstborn of an ox, or the firstborn of a sheep, or the firstborn of a goat, you shall not redeem. They are holy. You shall sprinkle their blood on the altar, and shall offer up their fat and smoke as an offering by fire for a soothing aroma to Yahweh. Excuse me. And their meat shall be yours. It shall be yours like the breast of a wave offering and like the right thigh. Now the firstborn of clean animals will have their blood sprinkled on the altar and their fat burned as an offering, as a sweet aroma to Yahweh. That's the thing about these sacrifices. They were bloody and they were messy. But why did they please the Father then if they're so bloody and messy? And let's face it, it's violent. And it's being shed. keep in mind, exactly, this makes atonement for the sins of the people.
But it didn't take away the sin.
No, it made atonement. It covered it up.
It covered it up.
Yep. That's correct.
They clean it off before the next time.
Maybe. Maybe not. Depends on if there's a big, burn it off. Depends on how long the line is, I'll bet you. But, in the same way, Cliff just mentioned it, the sacrifice of the son of Elohim, do you think it upset the father to sacrifice his son? You know what it says in Isaiah 53? It says it pleased him.
Say what?
It pleased him.
Kind of wasted all of it.
No, of, yeah, go ahead.
It pleased him. What did it accomplish?
That's what it accomplished. We've got a bunch of unaccounted for sin hanging out there for all his people. So, what about it? Let's take a look at that Isaiah 53, and not all of it, but a good portion of it. Starting at verse 3, he was despised and forsaken of men, a man of sorrows and acquainted with grief. And like one from whom men hid their face, he was despised, and we did not esteem him. Surely our griefs he himself bore, and our sorrows he carried. Yet we ourselves esteemed him stricken, smitten of Elohim, and afflicted. But he was pierced through for our transgressions, he was crushed for our iniquities. The chastening for our well-being fell upon him, and by his scourging we're healed. This is written 700 years before Messiah came. All of us like sheep have gone astray. Each one of us has turned to his own way, but Yahweh has caused the iniquity of us all to fall on him. He was oppressed and he was afflicted, yet he did not open his mouth, and like a lamb he was led to slaughter, and like a sheep that is silent before its shearers, so he did not open his mouth. By oppression and judgment he was taken away, and as for his generation, who considered that he was cut off out of the land of the living, for the transgression of my people, to whom the stroke was due. His grave was assigned with wicked men, yet he was with a rich man in his death. Why does it say that? He was with a rich man in his death. He had a rich man's tomb. Joseph of Arimathea donated his tomb, which no one had been in. He had saved that for himself. He was with a rich man in his death because he had done no violence, nor was there any deceit in his mouth. But Yahweh was pleased to crush him, putting him to grief. It's because of what it did. If he would render himself as a guilt offering, he will see his offspring. He will prolong his days, and the good pleasure of Yahweh will prosper in his hand. In Ephesians 5, verse 2, can you hear me? No? I have to turn it up a little bit. In Ephesians 5, verse 2, we read, "And walk in love, just as Messiah also loved you, and gave himself up for us, an offering and a sacrifice to Elohim as a fragrant aroma." So Paul realized it too. The sacrifice of Yeshua was pleasing to the Father. Let's go back to Numbers 18. Verse 19. "And all the offerings of the holy gifts, which the sons of Israel offer to Yahweh, I've given to you and your sons and your daughters with you, as a perpetual allotment. It's an everlasting covenant of salt before Yahweh to you and your descendants with you. All the heave offerings are given to the sons and daughters of the Levites." Now, the term covenant of salt. What was salt used for? Right. It's big thing it's used here is to make this a permanence. It's a preservative. And make yeah. It, well, that's what it's referring to as the permanence of this covenant. Verse 20. "And Yahweh said to Aaron, you shall have no inheritance in their land, nor own any portion among them. I am your portion and your inheritance among the sons of Israel. And to the sons of Levi, behold, I have given all the tithe in Israel for an inheritance in return for their service which they perform, the service of the tent of meeting. And all the sons of Israel shall come near the tent of meeting again, or shall not come near the tent of meeting again, lest they bear sin and die. So the Levites do not get an inheritance in the land. They'll have a home to live in. They'll have a place to live, but they won't have land. Their inheritance is service to Elohim, as well as the tithes of the people of Israel. Verse 23. Only the Levites shall perform the service of the tent of meeting, and they shall bear their iniquity. It shall be a perpetual statute throughout your generations. And among the sons of Israel they shall have no inheritance. For the tithe of the sons of Israel, which they offer as an offering to Yahweh, I've given to the Levites for an inheritance. Therefore I've said concerning them, they shall have no inheritance among the sons of Israel. Then Yahweh spoke to Moses, saying, Moreover, you shall speak to the Levites and say to them, when you take from the sons of Israel the tithe, which I've given you from them for your inheritance, then you shall present an offering from it to Yahweh, a tithe of the tithe. So the Levites get the best 10% of what the people bring in from the fields. Then they take that best 10%, and they take 10% of that, the best of it, and they give that as an offering. So the top 1% goes to the Father. Verse 27, and your offering shall be reckoned to you as the grain from the threshing floor, or the full produce from the wine vat. So you shall also present an offering to Yahweh from your tithes, which you receive from the sons of Israel. And from it you shall give Yahweh's offering to Aaron the priest. Out of all your gifts you shall present every offering due to Yahweh. From all the best of them, the sacred part from them. The Levites were to offer the best tenth of the tithes that they received. So, as we mentioned, Elohim gets the best 1% of what the people have. And in finishing this chapter, you shall say to them, when you've offered from it the best of it, then the rest shall be reckoned to the Levites as the product of the threshing floor and as the product of the wine vat. And you may eat it anywhere, you and your households, for it is your compensation in return for your service in the tent of meeting. And you shall bear no sin by reason of it when you have offered the best of it, but you shall not profane the sacred gifts of the sons of Israel, lest you die. Now the offering that goes to the Father, that's to be the best of the best. The only sacrifice that could pay for the lawlessness of the people is the offering of the Son of Elohim. It was his set-apart precious blood that offered to Elohim on our behalf that provides not only our forgiveness of our lawlessness, but it was a purchase. That was a purchase of us from condemnation. Peter talks about that. It's a redemption. That's what redemption is. It means you were bought. In 1 Peter 1, verses 17 through 19, and if you address as Father, the one who impartially judges according to each man's work, conduct yourselves in fear during the time of your stay on earth. I thought if you love God, you don't have to fear. No, that's not the way it works. That's right. Yeah. Fear is a good motivator, and it's not a bad motivator. Knowing that you were not redeemed with perishable things like silver or gold from your futile way of life inherited from your forefathers, but with precious blood as of a lamb unblemished and spotless, the blood of Messiah. You know, when we remove Elohim's Torah from the equation of salvation, we remove the significance and necessity of the ultimate offering that was made on our behalf and what purchased us. You can't remove the Torah away from that. If there's no Torah, why the offering? Offerings are done away with, aren't they? As is sin. So that would have made the offering of Messiah a waste of time. Any questions or thoughts on that in Numbers?